Hey everybody, been a while since I've done a video. Haven't really been rebuilding. I've been building on an airplane. That's a different story. Maybe we'll get into that in this video. I haven't really been posting a whole lot of that. It's a slow process. But I got something today. It is not a rebuild type item. This is going to be more of a slightly modify it. There's not a lot of videos on this. What I bought today is a slide-in truck camper. Behind me, I've got the my tag-along, but I picked up a Rogue EA2, and my reason for this is that I can't tow a boat and my camper at the same time in the state that I live in. Triple towing is not legal. I've seen some people do it, but I just know if I do it, I'll end up getting popped for it, and that could be a rather inconvenient day if you're left the choice what you're going to leave on the side of the interstate, especially when it's on wheels and can be taken off with rather easily. This is a 2020 Palomino Rogue, and this is the EA2. There's a lot of videos out there on the EA1. There's a little bit, this looks dirty, but this is actually like a little paint kind of cracking. It's hard to see on camera maybe. There we go. But that's only on the front. The sides are fiberglass. You know, like a fiberglass covering over plywood. It's dirty, comes clean pretty easy. So this is literally, I literally just dropped this thing here and have not done anything with it. So it's gonna get cleaned, along with some changes. This one has the electric jacks on it. I highly recommend that, especially if you want to get somewhere and unload this and not have it on the truck the whole time. This one has the air conditioning, has solar panel, and the Thule roof racks. Now, something I think that's rather goofy about this is that solar panel could have been mounted center. Why they did this is beyond me, because you don't have much spacing between the roof racks with the AC unit, and they didn't run the racking all the way up the camper, and you can't run it too much further because of the the solar panel. So I'm actually thinking about buying some racking, just the rails I should say, and putting it on each side of the skylight, and then putting another rack further forward, or putting a rail on one side of the AC unit, because my wife would like to be able to have a paddleboard with us. The solar panel, I was kind of skeptical. A lot of these flexible panels, the output isn't as good as a solid. However, this is installed, I've heard, from factory. I don't know what the watts is, but last night I was at 11.9 volts when I put a battery in, because everything I buy needs a battery. Luckily I had one laying around, but it hadn't been on a charger. It was at 11.9 volts. It's about 9:30 in the morning, South Carolina, a very cloudy day. My house solar has very little output, but this is still putting out, that little panel's putting out 0.5 amp, and I'm up to 12.4 volts. So it is not a Victron energy controller. It's another brand I'm not familiar with. I'll see how it does. I've seen some of these cheaper charge controllers cook batteries, so I'll keep an eye on that. If I have an issue with it, then I will go with a Victron energy charge controller, because those things are top quality. You spend money on them, but they are awesome. So this unit, so I need a battery, I need a propane tank. I got it for a pretty good price. I picked this up for $10,000 even. It was advertised more than that, and you know, I went, I made the offer, and I got it. It's got the extensions up front. These campers are made to be able to slide into, I believe, smaller pickups, such as, you know, maybe something like a Ford Ranger. I think you'd be over your weight on that, but if, you know, if people will haul it, they'll make it without regard to that. with these in the camper world. This does okay with the King Ranch. I have enough, just enough capacity for this and some extra weight, stuff in the vehicle. And I do plan on pulling either jet ski or a small boat. So when I go to the coast, I can do some fishing. I have a couple boats I've picked up lately from Copart, and I've been working on those. If you'd like to see some of that, let me know. It's got an outdoor shower. It's got an on-demand propane water heater, which I think is comical. You'd only really need a long hot water period for the shower. And if you were hooked up at a campground, because it has a very small water tank on board. I need to trim this tree a little bit. But I was very happy pulling this with my short bed half ton, which the pickings are slim on this. So inside, we have our charge controller right here, and I'm up at 12.4. If anybody has any input on these, by all means, drop a comment. So far, everything's working. The only thing I haven't gotten to test out, really, the heater should work. I don't have propane in it yet. And the on-demand hot water heater. Stovetop has literally never been used. This looks like it's never been used. Still has a sticker inside of it. And this is 3 years old. My complaint, I don't like the east to west sleeping arrangement. So a modification I'm thinking I'm gonna do is this trim piece I will lower. This is gonna get lowered down. And then I'm gonna run probably some nice birch plywood and have it set up so I can slide it out 10 inches. And I'm gonna twist this mattress 90 degrees so it'll be north to south sleeping arrangement. And with that, you and your significant other can climb out of bed without crawling over the other person. And also one person's not stuck up in the forward part of the V in a claustrophobic area, even though you have the skylight. Skylight is pretty cool. There's a shade that you can pull up. So it feels very lit in here. I have one light on at the moment inside. The mattress feels pretty good. It was actually still covered in plastic, which is nice, but I'm gonna take this cover off so I can trim it. We'll go more into that later with the modification. And dual seating areas. This is, I think, is kind of goofy. You have a seat, a place where you can put a post and a table for eating. However, when you're not using the table, where do you put the table? There's things in here that you're going to be playing shuffle with different items to have them out of your way. You may see in the video, this is something to look out for, maybe buying something used. This is not rot. It's very solid, but it's like it's come unglued from the wood behind it. And a lot of campers, they have issues. Brand new. This is 3 years old. I got a little spot over there as well. The top is in really good shape. I don't think that was from water. I think that was just maybe an area that there again might have come unglued. Wasn't put on as well. You got to remember some of the people putting these things together. Maybe in a rush. Maybe it was time to go home in there at that point. I have various storage bags that hang from the ceiling. Another one over here that's not hanging. And I am 6'2". And this will give you an idea of the height I have in here. It feels, for a 5.5 foot bed, truck camper, this feels great. Now when I say that, it fits fine on my 5.5 foot bed, but I cannot put the tailgate up. It comes about halfway out on the tailgate. So either have the tailgate off. I'm also buying a hitch extension for the truck. Only 7.5 inches, because most of my trailers have a long enough tongue anyway. But that way I can pull a toy with me. I have the refrigerator, which it was working when I went and looked at it. This is 12 volt, 120 volt, and propane. And you got your carbon monoxide detector, your fuse panel. Over here, your switch for your water pump and the hot water heater. Over here, this is your hot water heater control, thermostat for your heat, and USB jacks. I'm going to put an extra 12 volt jack over here, the old style, because I do have a 12 volt fan that works great. That'd be great to have off grid if we were somewhere a little warm for some air circulation in here. I may also install some very low amp draw fans, as I'm going to put some of those in the other camper for off-grid camping as well. But overall, I really like this. There are windows behind the backrest, which honestly in most cases you probably wouldn't be using, since they're wonderfully at crotch level, which they're tinted, but at night I don't know if you can see it or not yet. I haven't tried it with the lights on here at the house. So this is the EA2, tall people friendly. You'll see on measurements, if you're researching these, I believe this bed is 52 inches wide, or currently it's, depending on which way you look at it, when you're sleeping, it would be 52 inches wide, 62 inches long. I'm sorry, correction, 62 inches wide, 72 inches long. So you're looking at a 6 foot length bed. I am 6'2" though. It actually feels rather okay. Like I think I would be fine sleeping on this side to side if it was just me. So you'll see later what my plan is with this bed. And also I'll get added storage. I'll get an extra 10-inch wide section of cabinet space over here, which is kind of like one side of the the SS550 unit, which I tried to bid on one of those and it went for more than I anticipated. In hindsight, I should have kept bidding on it. It was on Copart and it was damaged, so there were uncertainties. It was 6 hours away. In my old age, I'm getting tired of driving as much. So this is where we stand with this. The doorway for short people. I've only hit my head on it once. I usually learn from mistakes pretty quick. I do have some stands on order, although I may work up something here with the boards, because I'm using these boards to keep it elevated on the truck, because without those, the previous owner was doing that, and we discovered without these on the F-150, the tie downs get really close to the side of the truck. So to keep that distance and be a better angle for the turnbuckles, I'm going to keep using these boards. However, they're laid flat in the bed of the truck, and there's 3 of them. In this case, I'm going to tilt them up and maybe put blocks underneath it to help support this when camping, to stabilize it and not be relying just on jacks. You're not really supposed to do that, or for storage, you're not supposed to do that, having it rely on the external jacks. They're really more for raising and lowering and stabilization. But currently right now I literally have not done anything to this thing yet. So I'm also going to put some level bubbles on it so you can see when it's level. Right now it's level. I've done it with a level on the floor, looking front to back, side to side. So it's time to start working on this and make it mine. Make some small improvements on it, which I think are improvements that needed to start with. So we'll see what we got. Well guys, a little follow-up on the video. Now I've done some work to it. Cleaned up really nice. Took about 15 minutes to wash the camper. Used a little bit of Zep. It's a window cleaner I like to use on just about everything. Works great on campers and fiberglass. Cleaned up the roof a little bit as well. Got propane tank installed. Everything is working. on-demand hot water heater works great. Very happy with everything. When I bought this unit, you couldn't find the key for the shower box over here. And I made a joke that the shower box from my other camper, I had the same key, and it did. So we're gonna go inside, and the battery is charging good. So here is the new setup. I turned the mattress 90 degrees, and this way I can take this down. I've got two, this is rack shelving material, and the brown goes with the inside of the camper. Came fairly close with the stain for the wood, but I can put the pieces here, which I can show that here in a minute. All right, so over here, I'll show you how this works. I made a storage box over here, stained it. It's actually fastened down. This is the lid. And now for eating, I don't really like the table in here. And this is just shelving, storage shelving from Lowe's. And usually, you're not gonna be using a full table. The full table is like, where are you gonna put it when it's not in use? Now, I've got a nice little area that I can set drinks, plate, so on and so forth. So this lid actually does double duty. I can take these, move them up. I did this for some extra support. And now I can do this. I can take that back is going to be covered. We'll make it look like a big pillow. But now I can sleep fore and aft, my wife and I, and then we can crawl out of here without crawling over each other. Or one person also being in a nice little claustrophobic area up in the front of this thing. So overall, very happy how this project turned out. If you noticed, when I pulled this out, it only pulls out so far. It also only pushes in so far. And that is due slide channels. After I did the slide channels in this wood, then I put it in here, took measurements, got it square, and that's when I put the inserts that are screwed into the bed, under the bed area. So that's how I did that. So I'm very happy with how everything turned out. And these just go away. These campers, this camper is the EA2 and does not have a single bit of actual cabinet storage in it. It's all in the hanging bags. So I have room back there for a backpack, because I usually, when I travel, I throw my stuff in a backpack, you know, clothes, toiletries, stuff like that. And then that way I can throw that back there in the corner. I can reach that easy enough. Or we can also keep some stuff in here that will stay in the camper all the time. So overall, I know this won't work for everybody, but hey, it gives some other tall people an option if you're looking for a north to south sleeping arrangement. And you could also tell that when I did that, there's enough room to still eat. It's not like you've lost all your space. And just real simple, put a 12-volt outlet over here, which taking this out was very easy. You take the lid off, then there's 4 screws. This unit comes out. And everything is working as it should. So far, no leaks. The shade on the skylight works Well, this door shade though has kind of a funky look to it. When you bring it down, it might get better. I've been keeping it closed. The accordion part of it was kind of messed up, and it looks like keeping it closed has been doing the trick to kind of reinstill where the folds are. So something else to think about, but overall, good camper. I put the leveling bubbles on the camper as well. And the nice thing is, when you have 4 jacks, you can really make this thing level as to however you need it. I'm about to cut some 4x4 blocks. I think I'm going to try blocks with these runners first for stability, because I can set it up and then, you know, lower the camper down a couple more inches onto it versus just those 4 little screw jacks. I think this would be more stable, and they need to go somewhere anyway, these runners, versus just staying in the back of the truck. So anyways, I thought you guys might like to see the EA2, a little pros and cons. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you.